everyone, welcome back to another weekly rotations video. This is now the 7th edition in this series I've started since the beginning of the year. Again, less editing, less formal, more personal, so the videos might be a little shorter or a little longer. It's just me talking to you, just telling you everything I've worn from the week, from Monday through that following Sunday. Except this week we're starting on Monday to Saturday because I already went through Sunday on the last one because I filmed it a little late and I wanted to cover everything that my friend Tommy picked out for me from last week. But this week was a different week because it was a lot more cold than it was the week before. So I got to wear things that I've been looking forward to wearing a little bit. You know, I had things that I set on the back burner, so I decided to pick those out. And again, you're gonna see a lot of samples in this video because I'm trying to use up a lot of my samples I have for the winter time before it hits the warmer weather, and because some of these also are leaking a little bit, so I want to hurry up and wear them before they evaporate into nothing. Starting on last Monday, because I already did the Sunday before, it's one that I got in a sample set from Imaginary Authors, and this is one called Cape Heartache. I'm pretty sure a lot of you, when you saw my Bentley for Men line review, have heard me talk about this one as being very similar to Bentley for Men Absolute, but actually wearing this a little more, I can kind of see there are some differences, but they're within the same style. This is a very pine conifer style fragrance. It smells like you walked right out into a pine forest, like fresh after a camp out. There's dew on the trees, there's smoke in the air, there's a lot of smokiness in this. There's also a little bit of a sweetness, which I did not expect. It's a strawberry note that's in here, and some people say that it's a little intolerable, and I was like, it can't be that bad, but I can see how some people might not like the strawberry note because it does come off very artificial, almost like a strawberry soda, like the cheap strawberry soda kind of ways, like Fanta or things like that. But it does add a nice sweetness where it's not too dry, and it fills in everything. But again, the main thing you're gonna get with this is that strawberry sweetness, pine, woodsy, very smoky, a little earthy, a little bit of an ambery, warm kind of feel, but not too much. It's a very, very wood dominant fragrance. But this one for me is very nostalgic because it takes me back to the days when our men's ministry at our church used to go out and do camp outs, like way out into the woods, and we'd wake up early in the morning and people was cooking breakfast by the campfire, and you can smell the humid dew in the air and the smoke going off the fire, and it's just super transportive. They do an amazing job at all their stuff, but again, really good. I mean, there's another Imaginary Authors one in here, so they're not gonna be the cheapest because they are a niche brand, but the sample sets you can buy from them are very inexpensive, like on the, I think $40 or so for like 8 of them, which is not bad at all. But I highly recommend trying out their stuff. But this is one that I highly recommend you try out if you love a lot of heavy woody fragrances. And then that night when I came home, I had nothing else to do except sit down and chill, do some editing, and I wore one that a lot of you might have actually seen in my post. If you saw some of the posts I did in the community, like from a couple weeks back, I did an order, or I only ordered 2 items, and actually both these items are in this video, but one of the items was this here. It's from Dunhill's signature collection, and it is Agarwood. So if you saw a lot of Jensen Ash from Jensen's videos, you know he's talked about this one a lot for being so good. A very inexpensive but niche quality fragrance. This is one that you hear the name Agarwood and you think it's gonna be very heavy with oud and rose and very Middle Eastern, but it's actually not. The main thing you get with this is a lot of leather. It's a leather dominant fragrance, but it's a very smooth, high quality, not really animalic, but almost reaching that animalic point. It's just an amazing leather. You get a lot of tobacco and oud in the background as it starts drying down, a little smoky, a little ashy, a little warm in here, a tad bit of spice, but not a whole lot. Not really any florals in this as well. So if you don't like floral fragrances, but you want an oud leather, this is perfect for you. This is like $55 at Fragrance Buy, so not really the cheap end like I like to talk about on this channel, but still very inexpensive for what it is, and it's definitely a niche quality. And by the way, I forgot to talk about performance, but performance on Cape Heartache lasted me all day with a medium projection. This, however, did not last me as long or as loud as I thought it would, but it was very smooth on the skin. I say about an average performer with about like maybe 4 or 5 hours longevity, and maybe as it macerates, it'll do a little better, but still the quality in this is incredible. If you ever want to get a chance to get any of their signature collection like I'm going to try to do, I highly recommend it. And then on that Tuesday, went back to work and I wore one. I think I still have a little bit in. If not, I may have to go ahead and do away with it. But it's a sample I have from Mancera, and it is their fragrance Fig Extasy. As you can probably guess from the name, there's a lot of fig in this, but it's a very fruity, a little bit sweet fig, but very earthy. It has a lot of spiciness in here, but not really like overly like cinnamon spicy, more of like a dry spice to it. is very, very nice though. It's in the same line and vein as things like Effing Fabulous by Tom Ford. So if you don't like that kind of style, you're not gonna like this, except this really doesn't have all that creamy almond kind of facet. It is a little bit of creaminess in here. I think there's sandalwood, some other woods in the background, but not really that kind of style, but it's definitely in the same vein as that. Gonna remind you a lot of that. The main thing that's in this though is that earthy fig, but very nice. This is a perfect springtime fragrance without a doubt. I think fall time really good as well, and maybe some winter. Summertime might be a little much though, but this was a treat to wear. Finally used up the sample, and my wife let me actually have it because I originally gave it to her, but she actually gave it back to me. So I'm glad that she did because I enjoyed it. And like most Manceras, it has amazing performance. I mean, way better than you expect, especially from just a sample. It's really, really good. And then that night, I decided I'm gonna try to start on some samples that I got from the company ELDO Orange, but I might start calling them ELDO for short because that's a lot to say. But this is a fragrance I got from them in a whole big set that me and Tommy got and tried out with each other last year. It is called Tom of Finland. And those of you who know ELDO Orange, you would know that this one is a very leather dominant fragrance, just like Agarwood over here by Dunhill Signature. But this one is a different style of leather. This is way more of a soft suede style, very smooth, very laid back, has a good bit like ELDO stuff usually is, a lot of musk and powderiness in the background. ELDO loves using their style of musk, it's just like their signature kind of thing, but a lot of muskiness in there. It really projects off, but it's very soft. I can't describe how soft it is, like a smooth, smooth leather, not animalic, not piercing, not like over the top. It's just very much a casual and like laid back kind of leather. Very, very nice. But again, it still has their powdery, musky kind of facet with a little bit of like the clean skin scent accord that they usually use. So if you don't like that kind of stuff, you won't like any of their stuff really, but this is a very nice take on a very, like I said, smooth leather fragrance, something to wear in the daytime or nighttime. I think most of the seasons, probably aside from summertime, but very, very nice. And performance on this was really good. I mean, well into the night. I mean, and it was a medium projection. I could still smell it on me all the way through the night as I went through it. So really, really good. And then that Wednesday, one that if you watch on mine Tommy's live stream, when we opened up a big Lattafa haul, it was the last one we had in the set, and it's probably my favorite out of all the ones we did. And I knew that it would be, but it's from Lattafa, and this is Nashama Caprice. So those of you who have heard about this or own this know exactly what this is going for. This is a very cardamom, spicy, warm fragrance, a little fresh in there. It has a little bit of a green aromatic nature to it as well. This is meant to be a clone of Yves Saint Laurent's La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique, which is a more fresher take on the La Nuit de l'Homme line with that same quality of cardamom, the sweetness, the spiciness, but adding in a little bit more of a blue, airy, almost aquatic, but fresh factor to it. And this is right along with it. According to everyone that I've seen online, especially Omar from School of Scents, which was like the biggest hype of Bleu Electrique, he said that it is redundant because now you have this one, it is more available, it is less expensive, and it is apparently to him better performing and like 100% accurate. So I'm gonna take his word for it because I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to try the original, but this is amazing. It has a little bit, when you spray it, at least if you spray it up enough, a little bit of a green cardamom facet to it. So not just a powdery, spicy cardamom, but a little bit of that fresh green, like a very ripe cardamom kind of deal. It's very, very nice, super, super, super appealing. I mean, this thing is easily all year round, all seasons, daytime, nighttime, hot, cold, formal, casual, whatever, all year. It's perfectly in the name of the, blue kind of style. It is for every occasion, any situation. Absolutely amazing, and the quality on this for the price is really good. I can only imagine how much better it'll get with maceration, because really the performance that I got on this one wasn't as good as what I expected. It did stay on me pretty much for the majority of the day, but I'd say like I didn't notice it after like the 5.5, almost 6 hour mark, and it was a very subtle projection for the first hour, 2 hours. It projected pretty loud, medium loud projection, but after that it died off pretty quickly and stayed subtle. So I'm hoping that as it macerates, it'll improve and get richer and all that jazz after a while, but really, really good. I think I picked this up a fragrance buy for like maybe $30 or so, 33, which was not bad, and it was available, which was a surprise. So definitely pick this up if you ever get the chance to. And for that nighttime, I had church night as usual on Wednesday nights, and so I decided to wear something that I probably should not have worn, but I decided to do it anyway. But it's another one from ATH Oud. It is his fragrance Luna. You've already heard me talk about it. Again, I'm trying to go through and use up all of the samples I got from him before they evaporate into nothing, because the bottles are leaking a little bit and the seals are not that great. But this one, as you heard me talk about, is a very floral rose kind of style fragrance, but very much an incense, woody, almost, warm, musky kind of rose with it, but very much a smoky rose is the main thing that you get out of this, is incense and rose. It is an amazing quality fragrance. I mean, so good. If any of you know anything about Aaron's style, you'll know that this one is amazing. If you don't know Aaron's style, I highly recommend trying to find some of the samples you can buy from Max Aroma. They're not gonna be the cheapest, but for what you get out of it, it'll be money well spent, but really, really good, except this thing is a loud performer. I mean, super loud. And I only did like maybe 4 or 5 sprays, but I filled up everywhere I went. The car that we were riding in, I was in the sanctuary, and people on the other side of the sanctuary said they could smell me. And I was like, this is wild, because I didn't really think I had that kind of performance with this the last time I wore it, but this time is like it was in boost mode, turbo mode. I mean, it was just pushing off the skin. And even after I got home and my wife hung my clothes up, she said when she went in the closet the next day, the whole closet still smelled like it. So really good performance. So again, if you want that kind of quality, that's what you're gonna get with Aaron's stuff. So I highly recommend trying it out and at least seeing what his style is like and how good niche perfumery can get and how unique it can get as well, because his style is very much his own unique take on things, and it's really nice to see how he views fragrances and things that he wants for people to smell. So really, really good, very, very nice. On that Thursday, I wore another Imagining Authors fragrance. I kept going between 2 different ones and decided to settle on this one. It is one that you might have heard a lot of people talk about when they talk about Imagining Authors and some of their favorites, but it is Memoirs of a Trespasser. This one is very, very unique, very different than anything else you'd expect. It's a very earthy, like dry, smells like clay and terracotta, which I think clay is actually or terracotta clay is kind of a note accord in here, but very much has that in it. Some of you might think it smells like corn. I know to me, when I first sprayed it, I thought it smelled like corn, but after I actually wore it on skin, I can kind of get the terracotta clay kind of vibe in it. Very warm, it has a spiciness in there too, but it's very much just a wholesome kind of fragrance, almost like a hug in a way, but it's very much a dry, earthy, like I said, stone, mineralic, clay, terracotta kind of style. It is uncanny how accurate and realistic this thing smells. It is, like I said, super unique. Not gonna be for everybody, especially if you don't want those more unique, almost stand out kind of fragrances, and not stand out in a good way, stand out in a different way, if you know what I mean. But it's very much one that I highly recommend you try if you want more things like that. If you wanna know how broad and how far out there fragrances can get, this is definitely the house to start with. But really good, and the projection performance on this was amazing. I mean, a medium loud projection for the first like hour and a half or so, and a medium projection for almost the whole life of the fragrance, which is easily into the nighttime, like 6, 7, if not 8 hours. I can only imagine what a full-size atomizer spray would be like with this one. I mean, it'd probably put out so much, and it would probably be like a monster, but really, really good. Again, it's one that I think is perfect for, I think, maybe the fall and springtime. Summer might be a little too much depending on how you spray it, but definitely spring and fall are what I can see this working perfect in. Wintertime is probably good, but I feel like it fits those seasons and those styles a lot more. But again, really good, and like I've said before, I highly recommend going to get a sample set from Imagining Authors if you want to try out the more unique side of fragrances. And that night when I came home, I wore another Italia Orange fragrance. Again, trying to go through their sample sets because I've had them sitting back for a while. And it's this one here, I think it's called Marquis de Sade. It is Attaquer le Soleil. It is a fragrance actually I didn't know is perfumed by Quentin Bish, and if any of you know perfumers, you know he's done everything almost out there that everyone loves. He's an amazing perfumer, a very unique, specific style, and I definitely got that with this too, but he's also done things like, in the cheapy world, he did Lattafa's Teriyaki and Teriyaki Intense, so if you want to try out his style on the cheapy end, definitely go get those. I think he's done a few other ones as well, but it's worth going to look at his resume and seeing all the things he's done. I mean, you look at it, you're like, oh, that's a hit, that's a hit, that's a hit. Just a very successful perfumer, and he did this one, and I looked through the whole set, was trying to find out ones in the scent profiles that I liked, saw that he did this one, decided to and spray it, try it out. This is a very unique one as well, very much in his style though. You can definitely smell his personality in it. It's a very warm, powdery, spicy fragrance, very resinous. I think it has almost like an elemy kind of factor to it, but very much a spiky resin factor. Again, a little musky in the background. It is like, again, like a hug. It's a very dry fragrance though, not really a lot of sweetness in here. But to me, and a little bit of woodiness in the background as well, but to me, this has a lot of similarities to Billie Eilish number 2, and like a mixture of that and Bentley for Men Absolute, that same dry, woody, kind of spiky factor to it. I think it's way closer to Billie Eilish number 2, but Billie Eilish number 2 has a lot of vanilla sweetness that this does not have, so very dry, ambery, resinous, powdery fragrance, but very nice. I mean, good longevity as well, lasting me well into the night with a medium to soft projection. Again, I didn't spray a whole lot on, so maybe if I sprayed more, it would have been louder, but I was afraid to because I know how loud these things can get, but very nice, a very soft fragrance. I think this is really good for almost year round. Easily fall, winter time, and spring. Summertime, you might be a little light with it, but this is definitely something that is fairly versatile, but not gonna be for everybody, especially when it has that clean, musky skin scent accord, again, like that all ELDO stuff has in them. This might not gonna be for everyone, but it is still very unique, and glad that I tried it out because it's one that I might actually wear again very, very soon. And now for that Friday, the last day of the work week, I was very excited, so I wanted to try out one, kind of like a TGIF kind of celebration, and it was kind of Valentine's Day, so I was kind of in the mood to try out something a little different. It was one that I bought along with Dunhill's Icon, again, that very small order that I did, I posted about, but it's one that I've been looking at getting forever, seen everyone and their mama talk about it, and I really wanted to try it, and now I see what the hype is about because I really love this one. It is by Afnan, and it is Supremacy, Not Only Intense. This stuff is absolutely incredible. So good. Very much in that Aventus style. I'll mix with Hashivat by Nashama. It very much has similarities also to Club Nuit Intense Man, the limited edition, because the limited edition has a lot more mossy smokiness to it. So this really doesn't have a lot of smokiness. It's way more just on the oak moss, and the main thing you get with this is the black currant note, which I've heard a lot of people talk about as being like, oh, you gotta get this, the black currant is amazing. And now I can concur that the black currant in this is amazing. It's very tart, but very sweet, very fruity. It lasts for majority of the whole life of the fragrance. So you get black currant, again, a little bit of the citric kind of fruity factor in the beginning as well, a little bit of that muskiness, some woods, but you don't really get that birch smokiness that you get with some Aventus batches and even Club Nuit Intense Man, the limited edition. This is way more just on the oak moss, and as it dries down, the oak moss comes out more, a little aromatic, not really earthy, but very green and just almost fresh in a way. This is an amazing take on this. I don't think it'd be too redundant if you had this and the limited edition one by Club Nuit Intense Man. I think they both serve different things. They both have different kind of openings and dry downs, but they are in the same vein. They do have similarities, but this one tries to go more toward Hashivat, and that one goes more toward Aventus in a way. But again, it's their own take. They're all kind of clumped together in the same scent profile, and they drive the same roads. So, but still really good. For $33 I got on this, it's an amazing performer. It lasted me all day with a medium projection easily. I mean, people could smell me at work and was complimenting on it, loved it. It had a good projection for the first like hour and a half, almost 2 hours, medium loud or loud. And then like I said, medium projection for majority of fragrance, which is easily going up to almost the 8+ hour mark. Really, really good. This stuff is again versatile for all year round, just like most Aventus style fragrances are. Easily, I think springtime is definitely, I'm gonna be picking this out a lot more, but summer as well, fall, winter, day or night, casual or formal. I think this does have a little bit of a classy factor to it because of how the scent profile is, but still really, really good. And I'm thinking about also getting the collector's edition, which I don't think is gonna be too limited. I think they'll keep it out for a good while, so I'm gonna try to get my hands on that. Apparently that's more of the absolute Aventus kind of style, but I really do wanna try it. But this, in the meantime, is gonna do me just fine, and I cannot recommend it enough for everyone to try it out. And that nighttime, me and my wife had a date, went out to get groceries as well, and I decided to wear something that I think was very appropriate for a date. It's another one from Aaron Tansey's from the samples, and you've heard me talk about this one, but it's his fragrance called Oud. A very oud rose fragrance, not really too heavy on the rose. The woodiness in this is the biggest factor, a little bit of smokiness as well, a little sweet, but not too much. What you're mainly gonna get with this is the deep oud woodiness in this. It is so good, and the thing is, it's real oud. Aaron does all of his paperwork, he outsources all of his stuff, he has all of his printouts and all of his scientific backing and research that he does on that. And when you buy his fragrance and you buy it, if it has real oud in it, you have a whole thing, like a certificate that tells you where it comes from, how much is in it, things like that. So you know that you're getting real oud. So it's also very interesting to be able to wear something with real oud and see how it is on my skin. But this stuff is amazing. Again, like most of the stuff, it is a beastly performer. It lasted me all through the night. Even when I woke up the next morning, I still smell it on my skin. And with easily a loud projection for the first like 2 hours or so, you know, depending on how much you spray, but really, really good. Again, can't recommend enough to try out his stuff and see what you think about it. Now on the last day, which was Saturday, which was yesterday, because again, I'm recording this on a Sunday, me and my wife went out with my friend Tommy and his wife, just have like a double date kind of deal and hang out with them, have a good time. Me and Tommy also did a video for the channel, which will come out probably in about 2 weeks or so, so be looking out for that. But I decided to wear something that's very casual, very easy to like, not hard to wear, and it's also the warmer day of the week. And so I decided to wear something that I know a lot of people know and love, and I know and love it as well. It is from Prada, and it is Rossa Carbon. Again, anyone who knows about this knows that this is very much in the Sauvage kind of style. It is a lot more clean, more soapy, more laid back, more casual, not as loud, not as in your face with the embrox and the pink pepper and all that, but you still can pick up a lot of that in here, but it's much more of like a, I guess, like I said, a more relaxed, laid-back style of Sauvage, which is probably what a lot of people may enjoy. You know, if you want something that maybe you're more grown up or you're more mature, and you want something that is too loud or something that harkens, you know, to more youthful people. Maybe you want something that's more classy. This is definitely the classier version of Sauvage. Again, more soapy, clean, more well-groomed. I know George from the Fragrance Apprentice describes this one poetically as being like if Sauvage was out on the street and someone took him in and then groomed him up, cleaned him up, taught him etiquette, taught him the way how to be a gentleman, and then he turned into this. Basically is how it is. And I can't agree even more, but this is such a good fragrance. Again, not hard to wear at all. Definitely the easiest one to wear out of all the ones I've shown today. Not gonna be the most unique, because again, it is taking inspiration from Sauvage because it was hyped, you know, and everyone wants to be like that. But I think it does its own thing. It takes its Prada soapy cleanness and just transforms it into its own little thing. And I think it does it very well. A very good performance as well. Lasted me easily almost a whole day. I mean, probably about the 6-hour mark is when it started dying off to more of a skin scent, but still it was there. Had a medium projection, again, depending on how much you spray for the first like hour or so, but really, really good. Again, very easy office fragrance, year-round versatility, probably more for the spring, summer, and fall time. Winter might not be a little too cold for this, but daytime or nighttime, formal or casual, it's just the easiest thing to wear. So, so good. I know it's not gonna be the cheapest because this is a designer, but still, any of you out there who want to try out something like that, I can't recommend it enough. At least go try it out and see what you think, and maybe see if you can find other things that are less expensive that maybe try to mimic this one. But again, really liked it. Didn't have to worry about how it wore on me because I knew it was gonna be very easy to wear. So really, really good, and I absolutely love this one. And there you go, guys. All the ones I wore from last Monday through Saturday, and today is Sunday, but I'm not gonna show you the one I'm wearing today because it is one that I'm wearing and trying out for a future review, so stay tuned for that one. If any of you have either tried, owned, or want to try any of these I have shown in this video, please let me know in the comments below what you think about it, or what you think on ones that are like some of these, or ones that you think are upgrades or similar. Let me know about that as well. Maybe I can get my hands on it and try it out. Again, if you're still liking this new format, this vertical format, less formal, more personal, and you know, this new kind of style that I'm trying to do for these style videos, let me know what you think about it as well in the comments, or even ways that I could try to improve the entertainment factor in the future. Please, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. And as usual, if you like this video, please consider giving it a like and a thumbs up. Let me know to keep making videos just like this one for you to watch and enjoy. And if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, but you do like what you see here or what you see elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please support the channel by subscribing and even hitting that notification bell so you can see other videos I post in the future that are like this one and hopefully better, and things that I think you'll really enjoy. I can have you right along with me on this cheap fragrance journey, and hey, maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. And as usual, guys, that's all I have for the video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate you. And as usual, I will see all of you again on the next video on Friday. Be blessed.